Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sailor Naboo, Thor's fiance.
Hello.
Yes, he's here too. Not just nodding and smiling like you said he would. Okay, so we're going to do a spoiler-filled, more in-depth look at the movie Shazam, which we went and saw tonight. For those of you who aren't familiar with Shazam, he is a much older hero. Used to go by the name Captain Marvel, so he's the cooler, older Captain Marvel.
The cooler Captain Marvel.
Cooler, definitely cooler. His powers came from a wizard who had a council of wizards in a great wizarding time, who bestowed
Sounds like Harry Potter.
bestowed Captain Marvel with the powers based on great heroes. He had the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. I'm glad they gave him the courage of Achilles, because they gave him his heel, that'd be problematic. So, of course, the names of the gods are the anagram to his name. Shazam, obviously.
Still not as good as Thor.
Yeah, but Thor's not an anagram for anything. Not yet, anyway. So you'll have the rest of this video to figure one out. Good luck.
No, I won't.
So let's start by going with some fun little Easter eggs that were in there that people who remember the comics or are a little more familiar with Shazam would know. The first one, of course, being Fawcett High School. Now, I know you don't know this, but
Let's talk some Star Wars. Sorry, go ahead.
Fawcett High School is a reference to Fawcett Comics, the original publisher of Captain Marvel back in the 1940s and 50s. So it's nice that they put that touch in there because DC didn't originally own Captain Marvel. Fawcett owned Captain Marvel. Then DC owned them. And then in the break when Captain Marvel kind of went under the radar and disappeared is when Marvel made Captain Marvel. So when DC reintroduced him, they had to drop Captain Marvel so they didn't confuse people, and they went with Shazam. Okay, so moving along, when Billy finally finds his real parents, he learns his birth father is named C.C. Batson. C.C. Beck is the artist who co-created Captain Marvel. Another fun thing. They also referenced tigers a lot. I enjoyed that. They referenced tigers at least right away in the beginning. Yeah. He's like, tigers are awesome.
Tigers are awesome.
Tigers are awesome. Then on his superhero outfit, his little gold medallions that hold his cape on had tiger heads on them. And then later in the movie, he gives a little girl a tiger doll. A tiger doll that he himself wanted as a kid. And he actually had a tiger friend in the comic books. They kept that in the New 52 version. The tiger is a very big thing, which is, he loves tigers.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with loving tigers.
Not gonna judge.
They also made references to the movie Big. Because a lot of people were making jokes that Shazam was the Big of the superhero world.
I understood that reference.
I'm glad you understood that reference. They used one of those big keyboards that you can walk on, of course, to make... obviously, Shazam didn't perform a song with his nemesis, Thaddeus.
Yeah. In Big, he does it with his boss.
No. He didn't. They didn't perform a duet on the keyboard, but it was there. They also have a carnival reference in there twice. At the very beginning, you get the carnival reference, and then at the end, in the big fight, there's the carnival, which of course is another funny reference to Big, as he got big at the carnival.
Yeah.
They used some of his original catchphrases, which were very dated and will stick out like a sore thumb during the movie. They used "Holy moly" and "Gee whiz."
That's dated?
No, it's not dated at all.
The kids are always saying that stuff.
And they also brought in the Shazam Family.
I didn't know what to think about that.
I was waiting for it the whole movie. I'm look, there they all are. There's the family.
That's probably my least favorite part. I don't know. I wasn't ready for that.
I knew they were going to do it. I had a feeling they were going to do the Shazam Family. But I really didn't like at the end when he's like, let me just crack my wizard staff here in half, leaving them all with powers, presumably. Which means that instead of having one Shazam running around in the DC universe, there are 6 Shazams running around in the DC universe.
Wasn't there 7 wizards? So what?
Yeah, so they're kind of short-staffed, I guess. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Short-staffed.
Yep.
Yeah. There was a funny little joke towards the Batman v Superman Did you see that little kid in the office window with his Batman doll and his
Yeah.
Superman doll, and he's smacking them together because they're fighting?
Looked just like the movie, actually.
It was exact same thing.
I think that might have been footage from the movie.
It probably was, but I really thought that was something special. And then there was, at the very end in your post-credit scene, they threw the talking worm.
Yeah, I was utterly confused by that.
I know, you're sitting there like...
I was just leaning over like, what's going on? What is that thing?
Like, they're dredging up some 1950s on you. That's what they're doing. The little worm, he's actually an arch-villain from Shazam. That's Mr. Mind. Yes, he's a very smart little bug.
Yeah.
And he's going to obviously cause some problems for Shazam along the way. If there's a sequel. I'm hoping there's one. It deserves one. It was weird and interesting and different.
I definitely hope there's a sequel to this.
I kind of liked how the tone shifts happened in this movie. It went from being really funny, you're laughing at kids, you're laughing at the adult superhero, and he's a child, and yay, it's funny, to going to Thaddeus Savannah, and he's a mess, and he's dark.
Oh, he's throwing people out windows.
He's summoning demons up to kill everyone. He kills his brother, throws him out a window, kills his dad, has a demon eat him.
Yeah, there was
traps a bunch of people in a room while they get slaughtered. Meanwhile, of course, there's no blood. You got to keep it PG-13 and all. But
demons are very clean. They're
clean,
very orderly when they
very
take
aggressive.
People on, yeah. They were supposed to be the deadly sins. Are they demons or
no? They're the deadly sins, which represent, of course, the deadly sins of humanity that were supposedly let out of Pandora's box.
I get that. Okay.
Which means they have an opening to throw Pandora in here if they want to. She's pretty cool. But I guess they're choosing to represent them as demons.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll go with that. I like the fact that Shazam taunts him at the end about envy. The only demon that doesn't immediately spring forth out of his magic eyeball, magic 8-ball, magic eyeball, same thing, right?
Yeah.
The only demon that doesn't spring forth readily out of the magic eyeball is envy. And I found that really interesting. I mean, yes, Shazam mocked envy, thinking, oh, envy's envious. And I'm like, okay, well, that's ridiculous. But I thought the funny thing is he referenced earlier, hey, Dad, what is your sin? Your sin is greed, and greed ate him. Yeah. I feel like the reason envy didn't leave out of Thaddeus is because Thaddeus is an envious person. He envied his brother. He envied his dad. He envied all these things he couldn't get. Then he felt like the blame of things go wrong in his life, and he shows up at that board meeting, and you can tell he's envious that the wizard didn't pick him. The wizard's like, no, you're not pure of heart, you're not good. I mean, he was right, but the wizard didn't pick him, and he was envious of whoever was going to be the champion. He was envious of Shazam. So I feel like that's why envy didn't leave him. I felt they kind of went a little overboard with establishing Billy the way they did. I mean, the wizard chose him because he's pure of heart and he's a good kid, and even though his situation in life was bad, he's coming through it okay. He's a trooper. Yeah. And the wizard sensed, his seeking spell and everything, sensed all that in him. But then they keep showing him being bad. All the time, showing him being bad. Like, I don't feel like he really became pure of heart till the end when he accepted his family. So did the wizard just kind of assume he was capable of becoming pure of heart?
I think so.
Because he clearly wasn't
pure of heart. He didn't have to go through the test.
He's stealing stuff he's at a pawn shop at the beginning. He's, jumping around in a police car, messing with their computers. He steals from his new family the moment he gets the opportunity to. He runs off again and again. He doesn't. He does have a few pure of heart moments, like when he helps, his friend when he's getting his new adopted brother. He's getting beat up. He steps up and he's like, "Know what? No, I'm gonna help because I feel bad and I should help." But and then as soon as he has superpowers, he's like, "You know what we need to do? Alcohol. We need to get some alcohol because that would be the right thing to do because we're underage. So let's go get some alcohol." And then it's, oh my goodness, we can charge for selfies and to put on a laser light show in the sky. He didn't become pure of heart to the end.
No,
and the other people were all like turned away because despite the fact that the spell says they were capable of being pure of heart and stuff, didn't choose any of them. Like, I feel like if the wizard would have had more time, he would have been like, maybe not this.
He didn't have to do the test. He was
I almost felt like the test was really the fact that he turned away the power.
Maybe.
Like, all the other kids are
Well,
probably
he's
like,
down to no
oh
other
my
choice.
goodness.
It's like, it's this kid or nothing.
You're
It's
it.
either him or no hope.
It's like getting picked last at dodgeball.
I never had that problem.
Not surprised. Thor, picked last at dodgeball? Ha!
Nay.
Shazam! No. I feel like this Shazam that we see on screen is much more reminiscent of the New 52 comic book series. The New 52 run. You saw that.
I did. I
you
actually
read
did
that
read
one.
That, yes.
The one that was at the end of the Justice League comics.
Yes.
It featured a more modern Billy Batson who did do bad things, and I liked how this Shazam was portrayed that way. So kind of obviously they're not going to use the 1950s, 1940s take, but this was a welcome. It was refreshed. It had a much more modern feeling to it, which was good. I almost felt in a way that this was like a path towards being a Deadpool movie in a way. Like, a lot of the stuff made me think Deadpool.
Well, you said that, but I mean, before we went to it, you were wondering if it was going to kind of be their more sillier. I didn't really get I mean, granted, it's not rated R like Deadpool, but I didn't really get a Deadpool vibe that they were kind of. I think Suicide Squad was more of a kind of going for a Deadpool vibe than
You're
this
not allowed
was.
to talk about Suicide Squad.
I know.
I've already told you that tonight.
It's all right.
Okay, so overall, Shazam had a lot of really great elements in it that were reminiscent of its comic book origins, which I liked. It threw in some clever Easter eggs with, giving credit to the original the original artist, the original writer, comic book company that owned and created Shazam. They spent the entire movie trying to name Shazam his superhero name. They never came up with anything.
Cyclone.
The Red Cyclone's entirely no. It's too much like Red Tornado, which is a different DC character entirely. So they can't call him Red Cyclone. They can't call him Captain Sparklefingers either, which was kind of a joke made
And you
towards
can't
the
call
other
him
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't call it Captain Marvel,
You got one of those in the MCU.
but he can't ever introduce himself as Shazam, because if he does, he's not Shazam. He's back to being Billy, which is fun. But yeah, that was one of those. There was a weird moment too when he gave his buddies all powers, all his family, and was like, "Okay, everybody, grab the staff and say my name." And they're like, "Billy!"
I knew they were going to do that. Everybody
I knew they were
going
going to do it, but I was like, "Oh, don't do it."
They did
Yeah,
it.
they did it. I just wish they would have depowered them at the end. Take it back. Take it back, Billy. Take it back. We don't need 6 of you. We don't. It was odd enough hearing one adult man being a child, but then you had 6 adults being children. It's jarring to see, but you understand it, so it works, but it's just a little jarring. But overall, I loved Shazam.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun.
It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. There was some hokiness going on. It was supposed to be there. I get it. It was fun. Anything else you got to say?
No, you covered it.
Oh, thank you. High praise indeed. The mighty Thor bestoweth
God.
the compliments.
That's not how it goes around here. We know it.
Okay, so that's going to be all for now. If you like this, come back again. Hopefully there'll be more content next time. Shazam!